All right, we are broadcasting. Hello,
Sweet.
everyone. I am t-dyno. My real name is Din, and today is a fairy tale live discussion event with my YouTube buddy MP14Anime.
What's up?
Now, I'm gonna let him introduce himself. So, yeah.
Hey everybody, I am MP14 Anime, and I love fairy tale. And today, we're gonna make this sort of live stream, live discussion with t-dyno, and we're gonna talk about fairy tale and how awesome it is, and especially the new season that is coming up, which I am really hyped for. So yeah.
Great. Now, we are going to talk a little bit about how we got into fairy tale. I guess I'll start first. Let's see, how I got into fairy tale was during winter. I wasn't doing anything. I had nothing to do, just school, and I was completely stressed, and I wanted something to watch, something to keep me pretty fun, like keep me happy. And my sister recommended me to watch fairy tale, and so did my other cousins. And I began to watch fairy tale through that. And at first, the first episode I watched, I was hooked onto it immediately, and thus begun my love for fairy tale. That's how I got into fairy tale.
Nice. I, for me, fairy tale, I started watching a while ago when when the first DVD came out. I bought it on Right Stuff in like my first or second haul or whatever, and I watched the first 15 episodes when Hurricane Sandy hit here around the New Jersey area.
Mhm.
And there was no electricity, nothing like that. So, I had my laptop which had a little bit of battery on it. So I'm like, you know what? Let me pop in the CD. Let me watch fairy tale. So I watched 15 episodes. Then I stopped watching because, I didn't buy the DVDs until recently. I finished school in December, and I was looking for a job. And, looking for a job is tough, living by yourself, having no money. I would sell some figures and video games to be able to afford stuff. So I was not depressed, but it's really tough. It like drains you. Being home sucks. So while I was looking for a job, I decided to start watching fairy tale and like finish it completely before the second season aired. So I did, and I fell in love with it. I cried more than I ever cried in any other anime. I loved all the characters, and I even made a promise to someone, Nico, saying that if I got a job while watching fairy tale, then I would get a tattoo of fairy tale. And lo and behold, I got a job. I'm working now. After college, I'm super happy, and fairy tale is what kept me going. Basically, what gave me energy every day to be like, all right, I can do this. So I'm gonna now get a tattoo of fairy tale like pretty soon. But yeah, that's pretty much my fairy tale story.
What an amazing story. Now, it's actually pretty interesting how fairy tale kept you going.
Yeah.
Fairy tale is the type of anime that hits you from behind when it comes to your feelings. Because I'm not the only, you're not the only one who cried. I cried quite a lot during fairy tale too. It's a really great anime. It reminds you, like, it gives you the thought of comradeship, the concept of it. It's really amazing in fairy tale, and that's what I love about it. And it gives a aroma or an essence that of family that's pretty desirable.
Yeah.
And that's the charm of fairy tale. It's a very happy, desirable show.
I mean, if I could choose one world to live in, like on Facebook, you always see these things. It's like, oh, what world would you live in? The Pokemon world, this world. I
Right.
would choose the fairy tale world because not just the fairy tale guild, but every guild seems so like close knit and stuff. Like it's guild before like blood family in a sense because the guild becomes your family, and they have such strong like relationships with each other and bonds that it's just really beautiful to watch. I know a lot of anime has sort of the friendship theme going on,
Right.
but fairy tale goes beyond the friendship theme. It is a family theme. It's like brother from another mother type thing. Like I love that. It's special. I really think it's
You
special.
are definitely right. Family. I mean, fairy tale. The guild itself. It just want to make you part of their family. Like if you watch fairy tale, you want to be a part of that family. It's like you watch these characters grow up as you watch the series continue, and you view them as your own brothers and sisters, and you view the guild master as your own father. So
Yeah,
definitely guild before your actual family in this sense, because they are your family.
definitely. It's I don't know. It's hard to explain because I think it all really like with anime in general. I think it depends what state of mind you're in when you're actually watching the show.
Right.
And if you watch Fairy Tale with like, I know this may sound corny or whatever, but with like an open heart and an open mind, and you just take the message in, because I feel like a lot of people don't truly understand that the message that Fairy Tale is trying to convey. But if you get it, it's just beautiful how they fight for each other and how they're constantly like helping each other and improving themselves to be better for each other. It's like a healthy competition. It's beautiful. It's really beautiful.
It is beautiful. I certainly agree. It makes you want to be a part of them even more. Now,
Yeah.
to touch on the topic of tattoo, I also want a tattoo of Fairy Tale, as MP14 was mentioned earlier, because it just, I think Fairy Tale as a show makes all of their fans connected somehow, because before I did not know that MP14 was a Fairy Tale fan, and I thought I was the only Fairy Tale fan in our Facebook group. But as soon as I saw a post from I think MP14 made a post about the Fairy Tale anime, I was pretty excited. I had someone else to talk Fairy Tale about. Our friend Nico is also a fanatic, and unfortunately she can't make it to this live discussion, hopefully in the future, but it just made me feel really happy that there are people out there who understands the message of Fairy Tale, like the beauty behind the friendship and the comradeship that is displayed in the show, and possibly the manga too. So yeah, that's my 2 cents.
Yeah, I mean, personally for me, the manga, I actually haven't read it yet. Um, I recently bought some stuff from Right Stuff, which is going to be my next haul video,
Hmm.
and I am starting the Fairy Tale manga. I always talk about how I either read the manga, but Fairy Tale is something that I just cannot get enough of. And I am super excited to see what the manga has to offer. Just like I'm super excited to see what the second season has to offer, which is starting a week from tomorrow. And oh my god, I can't wait.
Yeah, I
Now,
cannot wait for it also. It's going to be exciting. There's going to be like a lot of answers, well, a lot of questions to be answered in the next season. What do you expect in the upcoming season?
what do I expect in the upcoming season? All right, I'm like super weird, but I've watched the trailer like 20 times and I've tried to analyze it and everything like that. Okay, the art, they made it more modern, they made the lines a little more sleek, they made everything different. But you don't really notice it except when you look at Urza. I feel like Natsu is sort of the same. Gajeel looks sort of more mature.
Hmm.
Lucy is sort of more like slimmer in a sense. But
Hmm.
Urza looks almost completely different, which, I don't really know what to say about until I watch the anime. It's pretty cool. I did notice that it is not going to be like a reboot, but it's going to be a sequel because I believe it's going to take place where 175 left off. Because you see Wendy, you still see Juvia, you see Gajeel, so there's no way this can be a reboot. This is, in my opinion, a sequel. What do you think about it?
I think it's also a sequel because the first season, as people will call it, left off at a cliffhanger. I mean, Natsu just defeated Sting and Rogue. I think those were their names. And
Yeah,
there's Jill found what was it, a dragon boneyard or something like that, like a
yeah,
boneyard filled with
yeah.
dragons. And I think that this new season needs to address these questions and these issues because it's a huge cliffhanger. I mean, why would they reboot it? It doesn't make sense that they would reboot it. And to touch on the Urza fact that you made earlier, she does look completely different. When I
Really
first
does.
saw the trailer, I was like, "That's Urza." I was like, "Whoa, I can't
Even
believe
her
that's
voice
Urza."
sounded different.
Huh?
Even her voice sounded different, didn't it?
Her voice, I think it did. It probably is less deeper, maybe. I have to rewatch the trailer again because I can't remember what her voice sounds exactly in the new trailer. But you could
Yeah.
have a point. Her voice might possibly change. I heard that new series is actually quite close to the manga illustrations. So that's why the new season is changing the look of the characters to make it look closer to the manga characters.
Yeah. I mean, that really makes sense. It's when you look at the fairy tale manga, a lot of people say that it compares to One Piece. Now, I don't like making comparisons, but I could definitely see where that is coming from. And the anime was obviously completely different. Now, I feel like this anime, I haven't read the manga, but I looked at it. It's a little bit closer to what manga in general, the art style of manga in general, which it's nice. I don't mind it. I feel like it's updated because Fairy Tail is a series that started in 2009, right?
Right.
So it's a lot of things changed in 5 years. Anime art changed completely, and I feel like they're just updating it. It's just moving on with the times. Otherwise, it would become outdated. So I don't mind it. I think it's good.
I think it's also great. It's a refreshing point of view, especially if they're trying to draw in new viewers.
Yeah.
There are people who complain about Fairy Tail quite often because of their art style or the cliche of Natsu saving Lucy over and over again.
Yeah.
But it changes as the series progress and the stories get a little bit more complicated and complex. So I think that argument that like Lucy is a damsel in distress and Natsu has to save her, it's irrelevant because that's not the case for every story arc.
Yeah.
Now, I want to bring up a question. What is your favorite story arc from season 1?
Oh, I know this one. Do you want me to go first?
You can go first. You can go first.
Okay. All the arcs were fantastic, but I never freaked out as much with the Tenro Island arc. Oh man.
Tenro Island arc.
Yeah, the Tenroshima arc.
Uh-huh.
You know which one I'm talking about, right?
That's your favorite arc? Tenro Island?
Yeah, I mean, well, when you see Acnologia and everything at the end, you're just like,
oh,
right before the time skip, they're all training to become a S class, right?
Right.
And all right, they're all having their little struggles, but the arc was freaking crazy. The fights, all right, Kana got possession of the
Fairy glitter.
Fairy glitter. And you're like, all right, she's about to destroy everything. Then she goes and uses it, and she doesn't even do any damage. And you're like, yeah, that's how serious the arc is. I was like, come on, girl. You got fairy glitter and everything, and you didn't even do anything with it? Oh, it was sad, but...
It was sad to watch. Kana possessed one of the great fairy tale magic spells, and she didn't really do anything with it. Now, I remember it being used twice. Once before the time skip, and then the second time the Grand Magic Arcs game. And
yep.
She used it on one of the villains that was working for the Dark Guild, but he just shrugged it off. He was like, "This is nothing."
No, she used it on. You remember that little thing they had to punch to measure their strength?
Yes. Yeah.
That's what she used it on. So she used it on something completely irrelevant, just to give the guild a couple more points. But still, it's like, all right, they build up everything to fairy glitter, and you're like, oh my god, they got one of the main spells. This is end of the world type thing. She can beat a dragon, she can beat anyone, and it's completely useless. At least when she uses it, it seems completely useless, and I'm just like, yeah, that's how Fairy Tail is, though. You never know what to expect. You can say you can predict it, but they do little things here and there that you can't really predict.
That's right. And plus, everything that happens in Fairy Tail, regardless of how big of detail it is, it all connects somehow. Because I remember this was pointed out to me by my sister. She said, pay attention to the little details because it will come back later on in the series and it will play a part in the arc. And she was correct. I mean, I can't think of a example right now, but she was correct. There are certain elements from the series that were small, but actually plays a big part later in the series.
Yeah, one big one that I can think about right now. which they still haven't fully explained. All right, all the dragons disappeared in year X777, right?
Right.
That's the same year Lucy's mom passed away.
Ah, that's a
And
good
like
one.
every time they show her grave, they make sure that they show that and like
Yeah,
so
and make sure to show the year and
oh man. Oh, that's exciting.
there's
Or
there's something connecting those two. Like we don't know what it
what?
is. I'm not sure if the manga has touched on it yet, but there's definitely something connecting Lucy's mother's death and the disappearance of the dragons.
Yes.
Can't wait for it. I can't wait for it. I hope they answer it in the new season. Hopefully they answer it in the new
Yeah,
season.
and the new season trailer is just such a tease because you see fights with dragons, you see like all this destruction and despair. Because Fairy Tail is kind of weird. It's in the sense phone. It's in the sense an anime that it goes from being really funny to way too serious in like a second, and it doesn't even give you a break. That's something I always talked about with Nico. I was like, while I was watching and I was talking to her, I would always tell her, hey, like, what is going on? When is the filler gonna come? Because I feel like, all right, I finished an arc, right?
Right.
They defeat the bad guy, and in the same episode, they already introducing the new bad guy. So you're like, they're not even getting any rest. They're not getting a rest. They're not getting on. It's sad for
It's
my
just
heart. It's
on
sad
to the
for
next
my
battle.
heart.
It's just on to the next battle. That's how it is in Fairy Tail. You beat one guy,
Yeah,
another guy comes up, you gotta beat him too.
yeah,
That's
crazy,
I mean, I
crazy.
guess it keeps the audience entertained and plus hooked onto the show because some people didn't actually like filler arcs. Like the
Yeah,
Lucy filler arc, people didn't like that for some reason. I didn't even know it's a filler arc when I watched it. I was like, oh, okay, this is not bad. They brought back
I didn't know either. Didn't know either.
yeah. I mean, if you did not read the manga and you watch Lucy's filler arc, you wouldn't know it was a filler arc. You would just think of it as another story arc in Fairy Tail, but it's an actual filler arc. Just information for those who do not know. But I thought it was great. Did you think it was great?
That arc?
Yeah.
Um, it was all right. It was my least favorite arc of all of them, right?
Right.
Because all the other arcs were so. Well, I guess the first arc, the very first one, compared to the rest of them, wasn't that great. The introduction one,
Right.
but that Lucy one, it had a lot of cool stuff. It had a lot of cool information. Had I not known it was filler, I would have never guessed it was filler because you think it's just part of the regular show. So Nico told me it was filler. I was like, what? No way. There's no way that can be filler. It's too good
Right.
to be filler. I'm used to filler being crap almost. Okay, not crap, but I'm used to filler not being that interesting compared to the main stories. But this was just as interesting as any other main story, which was pretty great.
Oh, all right. Oh, sorry, my dog's barking. I'm not sure if you can hear her, but she's just making a whole bunch of noises in the background. But
My phone just started going off, and I'm like, I took I took the battery out of it so it stopped ringing.
oh, good guy, good guy.
That's the thing with the live streams, right? Oh man.
All right. Well, I think I'll talk about my favorite arc. Well, your favorite arc was the S-Class arc, the Tenro Island arc. I think that would probably be my favorite arc also. Mm. Another one of my favorite arcs to watch was the Fairy Tail battle one, the one where Laxus and his sidekicks or his tribe, they came back into town and they were like, oh, we're going to make a contest to see who the strongest person in Fairy Tail is, and they turned everyone against each other because all the females were petrified or turned to stone. So I think
Yeah.
that's my favorite arc, one of my favorite arcs, because I think it was great to see almost every member of Fairy Tail interact with each other. Like I think that was only one of the arcs where the other Fairy Tail members were also giving some time to show their appeals and powers to the audience.
Yes,
And
definitely.
yeah, I think it's one of those arcs where it shows the bond of Fairy Tail members. Like even if that person like Loxus was their member, and after that whole arc ended, they still viewed him as a member. Especially at the ending when the master put up the fairy tale sign, and everyone else followed suit just to pay tribute to Loxus. He's still a fairy tale member, and I remember I was pretty much bawling after that. That was it was a pretty touching scene.
Yeah, that was when well, first, I like how they explain Laxus's childhood and connection to the guild, and obviously to his grandfather and everything, right?
Right.
But that sign at the end, the guild sign right at the end when they were having that big celebration, I was just like, and everybody was doing it. Oh my! I was just crying so much. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, I didn't like Laxus that much. I'm like, oh, the stuck-up prick. First, I
Right.
thought he was a stuck-up prick. Then he became a bad guy. So I'm like, this guy's such an ass. Like I hate him. But right then and there, when that moment happened, I was like, I love Laxus. I'm like, that one moment changed my mind completely on the character, which never happened before. It's crazy.
Yeah. I actually liked how they actually explained how he got his powers too, because
Yeah.
he's not a original dragon slayer. He's not a first generation dragon slayer. He's not a mage, a wizard who was taught by a dragon and to actually be a dragon slayer. He was given a lacrima by his father, I believe, and it gave him the powers of a dragon slayer. So he's not a legit dragon slayer. He's just someone who
Yeah.
took on the powers of a dragon slayer.
What do they call them?
Second
Second
generation.
generation.
Yep.
Second generation. Because third generation is one that has a lacrima and was raised by a dragon. Yeah.
That would be Sting and Rogue, I think, right?
Yeah. And first generation is just, like Ashiel, Natsu, Wendy.
Yes, that's right.
Wendy's so awesome. I thought Wendy was going to suck. Like, all right, when I watched the opening for the season that Wendy appeared in, I'm like, oh, who is this character coming into Fairy Tale, and she's not going to fit in? I'm like, I don't like her too much because she seems like too much of a kid. And then I actually started watching and saw what Wendy was like, and I'm like, oh, Wendy's pretty cool. I like Wendy. She's awesome.
Wendy is a great character. I didn't know what to expect of her either when they put her on the show. I was like, okay, there's another Dragon Slayer. So what are they gonna do? Like so far, we saw like she was a sort of mage who only had support kind of magic, like healing and giving them power boosts and things along those lines. But when the Grand Magic Games came along, she actually shows that she can hold her own ground against whatever enemy has comes in towards her. So I was actually pretty impressed when Wendy was doing her battle.
Yeah. Like at first she seems like such a weakling, but you know what? The way that they portrayed her, you knew that she was gonna have somehow some incredible power. But when you find out that she is a dragon slayer, it's like, oh, that's
Whoa. It's just like, whoa. My mind
God,
is
you know
blown.
what part freaked me out when what's the old lady's name?
Is it which old lady?
It's like doppelganger in the Edelas Grandine, right?
Right. Oh yeah. What about her?
The one who heals everyone in Fairy Tale. When
Right.
Wendy was like, "Oh, she smells like Grandine," and they were, and when those moments happened, I was like, "Oh man, what is going on?"
There's something particularly interesting about her because I don't know. I think I made up a theory a while ago that she is connected. Well, obviously, Grandine, the lady who heals everyone in Fairy Tale, she is connected to the dragons somehow. And I think I made up a theory where she is actually Wendy's dragon or something, but turned into a human. I don't know why I made up with that theory, but it sticks to my head right now.
Yeah, that's actually the same thing that I thought at first. I'm like, this is she's all right. I thought that she was lying to Wendy, and I still think she's lying to Wendy, simply to not have everyone freak out. Like she is Grandine, right?
Right.
The dragon. But she doesn't want Wendy to freak out, and Natsu, because if Natsu saw another dragon, that was his whole, like, the point of his life up to now, pretty much, to find the dragons. And if he found out, I feel like he would freak out so much, so she just keeps it a secret. That's my theory, obviously, but we'll see what happens.
I think it's a pretty good theory. Because as soon as Hiro Mashima, the author of Fairy Tail, as soon as he creates a arc about the dragons, then
Yeah.
I think that is when Fairy Tail would probably come close to an end. I'm pretty sure he's saving the dragons for last.
Yeah.
That's
You
like
know,
the biggest reason why Natsu is, as you say, doing what he's doing right now.
I mean, for me, it's just how can I say this? I never want Fairy Tail to end because, when an anime ends, especially one that you fall in love with, it's too tough. It's very
Right.
tough, it's tough to handle. But I never want it to become One Piece. Keep in mind, I watch One Piece and I love One Piece, but One Piece gets to be way too much. It gets to be kind of like, all right, come on. When's this gonna end? When am I gonna see something different? Stuff like that. Like I said, I love One Piece, but when just it doesn't even drag, but just something becomes too much. You
Right.
get to episode like 6,000, not 6. What am I saying? 600, whatever. And it's just ridiculous. So I never want Fairy Tail to become that, but I never want Fairy Tail to end either. So
I know
I don't
exactly how you
know.
feel because when they announced that Fairy Tail was going on break, I was on up like in the early hundreds for the episodes because I was watching Fairy Tail at the time, and I was like, I'm just gonna hold it off until maybe a month or two because I actually did hold it off. I did not want to finish it because, like you said, Fairy Tail is a great anime, and you feel terrible when one of your favorite anime series is ending, and I did not want to watch it, but in the end I did because I finished it as soon as they announced that Fairy Tail was coming back. Because at that time we did not know if Fairy Tail was going to come back or not. Like people
Yeah.
were like, "Oh, it's the end of Fairy Tail. The artist is not going to do any more Fairy Tail related merchandise and things along those lines." So I finished it in time, and you finished it in time, and we are now at the point where the new season is coming and it's going to kick ass. You are going to have a party this Saturday,
Yeah.
just to celebrate this. Well, not this Saturday, next Saturday to celebrate the showing of Fairy Tail. I think I will do something similar because you just gave me the idea, so I think I might do something similar too.
It's pretty crazy. We have friends around here who watched Fairy Tail way before me. They always told me, our friends are like really into One Piece, Naruto, Fairy Tail, the big series, Dragon Ball.
Right.
We don't watch really the shorter series, but they're into the big ones, and they always told me you're gonna love Fairy Tail, and I'm like, I already love Fairy Tail. It's just that my goal was to get the DVDs to watch it. Obviously, that didn't happen, but I finally did watch it. And they told me, hey, Fairy Tail showing. We have a couple of people around here that love Fairy Tail. Why don't we get everyone together Saturday and just have like a viewing party of Fairy Tail? I'm like, hell yeah, we're doing that Fairy Tail viewing party. It's gonna be awesome. So, like Fairy Tail, it's weird. My favorite anime, as I just said in the chat, is Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. But Fairy Tail, I don't know. It feels
It's a whole nother
close
ballgame.
now, right now, because a lot of people I talk to love Fairy Tail, and it's easy to talk with people about Fairy Tail. It's not easy to talk with people about Full Metal because everybody's just like, oh yeah, best anime ever, or it's really good anime, and that's it. With Fairy Tail, there's just so much you can talk about, so many little secrets, so many little things here and there that it's just so beautiful. I don't know, I love it.
No, I understand completely what you mean. You don't even have to explain to me. I know what you mean when
Yeah.
Fairy Tail is a beautiful anime. It certainly is. But I think I am going to take some questions from the chat, and let me see, and we should answer them because the chat's rolling kind of now. I saw a question earlier from Kayla, or Kalia. I'm not sure I pronounced her name correctly, but she's one of my favorite persons to watch. Check her out. She asked, "What is the ups and downs of Fairy Tail, or just the
Mm,
downs, or just the downs?"
all right, let me think for a second. The ups, basically, character-wise, it is the family relationships and how strong. Okay, here I just thought about it. the ups. For example, Lucy. Lucy is an utter weakling at the beginning of the anime. She is weak. She cannot do much, and all she wants to do is get in Fairy Tail because she thinks it'll be a cool idea. Right? Superficial. But as the anime goes on, she starts falling in love with the characters in the guilds. Well, with the people in the guilds, she starts falling in love with the guilds. She starts willing. She starts being able to risk her life to save Fairy Tail, and also she becomes way stronger. She starts developing new powers. She gets more keys, and it's not just about getting the keys, but she develops her connections with her. What are they called? What are they called? Not
Spirits?
but yeah, with her spirits. She
Yeah.
develops connection with her spirits. So she's basically like level 1. That's the best way to put it. Level 1 when the show starts, and then she gets to level, let's say, 50. But then you can say when she fights people from other guilds, like when she fought against I forget that girl's name too right now. In the Grand Magic game, she got her ass kicked inside the bubble.
The girl from Sabretooth, right? Yeah,
Yeah,
she
like
had her.
Lucy's the type of character that she underestimates herself or she overestimates herself. So, like she'll be, then she beats him, or she'll be like, you know what? I'll do my best. I can take him on. She goes through a whole speech, through all these things, and then she gets her ass kicked. But that's what makes it good because, it makes her the damsel in distress. But she has her moments where she completely kicks ass and she is awesome, and you can see she's developing. She never had any special powers to begin with, and through her will and wanting to become stronger, she does, and that's what makes her a great character, for example, and that's one of my ups. Now, one of the downs of Fairy Tail is that there is no downs. Not playing. Um, one of the downs of Fairy Tail, if we think about it honestly, is how progress. And I talked about this in my review. It's kind of like, all right, fight the boss's underlings, kick their ass.
Right.
Go fight the boss, kick his ass. Then the boss becomes more powerful. Then the boss kicks your ass. But then we talk about friendship and family, and we finish beating him. And that repeats, unfortunately. I look past that because the fight scenes were so awesome. And each fight, each arc has their own sort of ending, their own sort of reason. So I look past that, but that could be considered a down because it is pretty repetitive in the way that it progresses. But that's about it for me.
Oh, okay. I think I'll start my downs first. The downs is pretty much the same things you were saying. I actually did not pay attention to it, but what you were saying are correct. Fairy Tail has this formula where, like, if you watch Super Sentai, it's kind of the same thing. Like, they fight underlings and then they fight the boss, and then if they get ass whooped, then they talk about friendship and they power up through the power of friendship and family, and then they kick the boss's ass. That's probably the only negative I can think of so far. Maybe there are more negatives, but you pretty much stated what I think is the only down of Fairy Tail. The ups of Fairy Tail obviously is the characters and the music itself, because there are certain songs that plays in the series that would make you start tearing up automatically. I'm pretty sure, especially the Fairy Tail Celtic Battle theme song. I always end up crying when I hear that song, and like the emotional musical pieces that plays before like a dramatic scene. Like, for example, when in the early days of Fairy Tail, when we were on Gray's arc, and I remember when his master was she lost her leg and she was like she's gonna give up her life to save her people, and I started bawling really, really bad. As soon as the music started come on, I was crying like really hard. It was a sad scene to watch. I didn't know that it was gonna go towards this direction. She gave up her life to save her students, even though Gray was technically at fault for that. And it's just I've watched it a total of 4 times, and I still cry each time. So I think the music is definitely an up for the Fairy Tail series.
Without a doubt.
Of course. Yeah, and the characters, of course, like you said earlier, Lucy. She starts off as a weakling, but she becomes stronger throughout the series. She has the will to become a stronger teammate and a guild member. She, of course, she overestimates herself or underestimates herself, and that decides the fate of her situation. So yeah, this is pretty much the same.
Yeah, I mean, oh my God, I'm glad you mentioned the music in Fairy Tail because I believe Fairy Tail has the best soundtrack in anime by far, and it's just fantastic. From openings to endings to the actual battle themes and themes within the anime. I have almost every opening and ending on my iPod, and I listen to them like religiously. Like right now, I'll post my favorite one in the chat, not just the ending, but the video and everything. So I'm
Uh-huh.
posting it in the YouTube chat. And all right, oops, remove any web addresses. God damn it, I can't post a link in the YouTube chat. That sucks. But if you guys look up, let me see what the name is.
I think we can add the YouTube video to the chat if it's
Really?
possible. Yeah, I
I
think
mean,
so.
that's what I
I think
tried. That's what I tried to do. They didn't let me. But
really?
all right, let me try one more time. See if I can add it in the YouTube chat. No, it didn't let me.
I think
But
I
if
can
you
actually
look
add
up,
the video to the video, like to the live chat, like to the live video itself. Like I have a YouTube app right here, and it says I
yeah.
can add videos to it, and I think it might show up on the feed.
Oh, okay, okay. Use app. All right. Let's see what's going on.
You see
MP14.
the YouTube app?
I have no clue how. All right. I don't know. I have no clue what I just did.
Oh, really?
Do you still see me?
Yeah, I still see you. You're on the bottom right.
All right. All right. Let me see if now maybe I can do it. But if not, then I'll just tell you the name. No, I can't do it. God damn, that
You
sucks.
have to
Like
add
it's
videos.
YouTube. All right. But anyway, the video is called Fairy Tale Ending Number 6, Version 2. It's
Mm.
the arc Memories. So it's when the arc ended, you know, the one where Ursa basically fought against Jalal and everything for the first time.
Uh-huh.
Oh my God, it was beautiful. And that ending, oh, Fairy Tale with the music. When the episode ended, you know how it just transitioned into the ending song, and it
Uh-huh.
made it really epic between what was going on in the episode and the ending song. Oh, I love that. I love that so much.
Oh yeah. I think that's
Yeah.
also my favorite ending. It has it's called Be as One, if I'm correct.
Yep. Yep. By Wins or something
Yeah,
like
yeah, by the Japanese
WN.
band
Yeah.
Wins. It is a great emotional ending song. I actually have it on my iPod too. I have a lot of the fairy tale music on my iPod. Let me see. Uh, Here is another question by Carwin Keith. He asked, "How much fan service in Fairy Tale, or is it in Fairy Tale, and does it conflict with the story?"
Hmm. Fairy Tale fan service. All right. The way I would describe it is this way. Fairy Tail has some really good looking characters. All the girls are really good looking, all the guys are really good looking, and it's just hard to pick who is the best looking, for example. Does that translate to fan service? No, not to me, because, all right, Ursa always changes outfits, and some outfits are skimpier than others, right?
Right, right.
Lucy always gets her clothes ripped somehow, but, you know, it's to the point where it still covers everything. It's just like Batiste or whatever. And you know, you have like one couple of beach episodes out of 100. Is fan service there? I would say no. Does Fairy Tail acknowledge that all their characters are really, really damn good looking for anime? Yes, they do. And do they play on that? Yes, they do. But is it fan service? In the way that we're used to it with like etchy and everything, not even close. You know, it's just like saying we have really good looking characters, and you know, so be it. But there's not really any fan service the way people are used to fan service, you know?
You're definitely correct. Fairy Tail does have a variety of good-looking girls. It's from the guild and the enemies. The enemies look really good too. My favorite female is obviously Urza because she's such a badass. She just radiates this aura of power and beauty at the same time, and it just makes me want to put a ring on her finger. So Urza's my favorite. um, let's see. As the fan service, there are the OVAs, which actually touch on fan service quite a lot. There are several scenes where you see them in skimpy outfits, and you see there's this one scene where it got me really mad was when what's his name, Jalal or Jello? I call him Jello because I just don't like the character. I know you like the character, but I don't like him.
He's my favorite character.
I don't like him simply due to the fact of what he did to Urza in the past, even though he was possessed, but that's a whole nother story. There is a scene where he was like touching, I think, Urza's boobs, like he was grabbing them, groping them.
Oh
and,
yeah, I know what you're talking about. Right before the Grand Magic Games.
Yeah, right before the Grand Magic Games, and there's also a scene where Natsu almost took off her blouse, or I mean her bikini top. So, her actual whole bikini did come off though, if I remember correctly.
And the OVAs, yeah, when they were going down the water slide.
Yeah, that's correct. And she had to cover herself, and she looked so adorable, but. Okay, I'll stop fanboying. Gray fan service. What's this? Oh, Gray fan service. That's right. Gray does fan service a lot. He does.
Oh yeah.
Strip a lot.
Yo, in the OVA, all right, we just talked about we're generally referring to like female fan service in the OVA.
Right.
But the character with the most fan service is in the OVA, not even the regular anime, is Gray. By far. Like, they show everything except his pee-pee pretty much. That's literally what they do. Like, it is crazy. You're just like, oh my god, Gray, put some clothes on, god damn it.
But they did explain why he did it. I mean, I personally find it hilarious, and it just makes it's like something that you can identify Fairy Tail with. Oh, Gray stripping. Okay, that's all Whammy Fairy Tail. It's yes, and it makes him a likable character because he strips a lot at random points in the series. So yeah, he's definitely fan service for all of you girls out there who enjoy Fairy Tail. I can't think of any other males that if you include Natsu, he's pretty muscular and he's pretty wild, so he's a great person to stare at. I'm at lost for words. Let's see. Lusu's your waifu? I didn't know that, dude. You actually like her?
I mean, alright, it's kind of... How can I explain this? I would say I can't pick a waifu from Fairy Tail because at first it's Ursa, Ursa is just like the ultimate waifu, but then I'm like, alright, let me try to find another character. And I would have to say, honestly, it's between Juvia. I love Juvia.
Juvia is so mo.
I love Juvia. Maybe Mira, but only when she turns badass into like a demon. So not so much. And then Lucy, but Lucy, because she reminds me of Senna. She is Senna, only with superpowers.
Okay, I see now. I see.
Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah. If I didn't choose Urza as a wife, I would probably either end up choosing Mira Jane or Juvia, because Juvia is just... She's such an adorable character. There are people who do not like her.
How can you not like Juvia?
Exactly. How can you not like her? She talks... She refers herself in third person. It's freaking hilarious. And the antics that she pulls to get Gray's attention is even more hilarious. I don't know why you can't like this character.
She is so awesome. Another one I really like is what's her name? I can't remember right now. Hold on, let me look it up. I don't know why I'm thinking.
Is it a Fairy Tail guild member?
Yeah. It's
Lasana.
No.
Levy.
Yeah, there we go, Levy. She is.
She was a girl.
Yeah, I would have to say Juvia, then Lucy, then Levy, then Urza probably. But
Okay, well, that's a fair list.
Yeah, all of them. Honestly, they're all so cool, and like they all have. All right, the cool thing, segueing sort of. The cool thing about Fairy Tail, since we're talking about like picking a waifu, they all have their arcs where they have their moments to. Like if this was a contest where you had to pick one, they all have their time to shine. They all have their 15 minutes to win your heart. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And that's what makes it hard to pick because they're all pretty kick-ass and they're all awesome.
that's true. I saw a comment on the chat, and it's by the Dueling Book. He asked, "What about First Master for waifu?"
Yeah, I just saw that.
Yeah. What about First Master? I think she's adorable. I don't know much about her, but from the looks of it, she's pretty cute.
She's a ghost.
She's pretty cute. Yeah, that's about it. I'm not sure about wife because we don't know much about her except that she's the first master. That's about it.
Yeah.
Let me see if there's any more comments. Then I'll pick a topic from Nico's list because
There's one more. Do you ever get jealous of other people in Fairy Tail?
jealous of people in Fairy Tail. Ooh,
Yeah.
that's a good question. I think the only person I'll be jealous of is Gray because he has Juvia. Juvia like constantly going after him. I like who would not want a girl to obsess over him? Like especially a good looking wife type of girl, which Juvia is. I think she's definitely a wife type kind of girl. I mean, she.
And Lucy too. But Lucy likes everyone though. Lucy's like a hoe in that sense. She likes everyone. She really is. She can't pick.
Oh God, Lucy.
Right.
You know what brings us to our next topic? What are your favorite pairings, or who do you think is gonna pair up in the future of Fairy Tail?
Okay, that's a good one. I like that one. I like that one. All right. Really quick. Lucy and Natsu,
Mm-hmm.
Gray and Juvia,
Mm-hmm.
Ursa and Jalal.
Oh God, no.
What's his sorry, man. Sorry. Gajeel and Levy. I love that. That's my favorite pairing. Gajeel and Levy.
Uh-huh.
That is the coolest pairing ever because they're so different. But oh my god.
Opposite worlds. Imagine them having kids, right? And their kids ask them, "So, Dad, how did you meet Mom? How did you meet Mom?"
Oh my god.
That's a long story for another day.
But it's weird because I somehow see like Lucy ending up with Gray just because
What?
like I feel like Juvia knows what's going on. Juvia knows what's up. She's not messing around. She knows that Lucy wants the D. She knows.
She knows that Lucy wants Gray's deed. That's actually interesting. I actually don't. I've never thought about Gray ending up with Lucy, but because I've actually heard that in the manga that Gray and Juvia are actually really close to canon. Like they're really close to hooking up or something like that. At least that's what I've heard.
They seem to be close at moments. It seems more like Gray is just like. All right, it seems like Gray likes her, obviously, but he's like afraid to like her. I don't know. He's just being weird. He's just a weirdo. I don't know. He's probably like a pimp or something like that. Side life, he's a pimp. Same thing with this guy, Kana's father.
Gildart.
Yeah, Gildart. See, that guy going around pimping and stuff. You know it.
Gildart is a pimp.
Yeah.
Because, well, obviously he's stuck with quite some woman, and Kana is a result of, I think, his most faithful relationship, perhaps.
Oh yeah, they even mentioned that in the anime. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
That's his most faithful relationship.
Faithful.
He didn't even know who the kid was. He's like, wait, are you this girl or this girl? Wait, but you don't look like this girl.
Exactly.
Oh.
Gildarts. In terms of couples, let's see. Yeah, I pretty much agree with Liz. Except for Urza and Jalal, because Urza deserves someone better. Just my own opinion.
Aww. He's changing. He's trying to become a better person. But he's on the side with Ui, what's her name? Uh,
What's here?
Ultir, yeah. So like he's on the side with that, whatever. I'm not gonna get into it, but fairy tale people are, they're all pimps.
Oh, there's another couple that's fun to talk about.
Oh,
Elfman and
yeah.
Evergreen.
Yes.
Nico wanted me to talk about it because she was like, remember the picture, remember when Mary Jane imagined what their baby would look like.
Yeah, yeah. That was. It's so weird because that is for once the anime actually does a couple and does a pairing, but it's the randomest one that you would never expect, which makes it pretty awesome. Like Elfman and Evergreen. Okay.
Who would have thought? It was actually an interesting couple. See. All right. Who do you think is the most powerful character in Fairy Tail? Hard question, isn't it?
That is pretty hard. All right, you go first. What do you think?
All right. Well, before let's see. Well, not before. I think Guild Arts is still one of the strongest Fairy Tail wizards in Fairy Tail. I mean, I think Natsu is going to surpass him sometime, but as of currently, I think Guild Arts is the strongest Fairy Tail member. He's
Yeah.
he's a total badass, like a strictly badass. Just Guild Arts is my answer.
I mean, yeah, he is so strong that Master named him as the next Master, even though he doesn't accept, but.
Yeah.
My answer is kind of screwed up because it's kind of an unfair answer, right? But my answer is I believe the strongest character in Fairy Tail is Zeref.
Zeref? Who?
Yeah.
Zeref,
The
the Black Wizard?
yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
He walks around and things die around. Like, he's just so cool and badass. I love him too. I don't know. I like the bad character. Something's wrong with me.
No, it's perfectly fine. It makes great for discussion. Zeref is indeed a interesting character. I mean, like you said, if he walks around, everything around him just dies. That's pretty much death itself right there. So that's a pretty strong power to have. Well, Nico wants me to talk about Ichiya. What do you think about Ichiya?
Sorry, Nico. I am so sorry for saying this. I hate him.
What? Ichiya's hilarious, dude. Man.
Yeah, he's hilarious, but I don't hate him because of his personality. I think he's awesome and hilarious. Man. But his face! Oh, I can't with his face. I know it's purposely like parfum.
Coffee. He's hilarious. He's so funny. Oh, man.
Oh, yeah, I love his face. Like, man.
Oh,
man.
He's such a hilarious character. So you don't like him because of his face, right?
Nah, I'm like torn between liking him and wanting to punch him in the face. Also because they portray him like he is. I know he's not weak, obviously, but you know how sometimes in the anime he has those moments where you're like, aren't you supposed to be one of the strongest members of Blue Pegasus, and you're out here like you can't even fight?
And then he would like create some funny situations like, oh, I'm not ready, men. Or, oh, don't forget me, men. Freaking Ichiya. Here's an interesting question. If you could have any power, which one would it be? From Fairy Tail.
Oh, that is a tough question.
Yeah.
I mean, the obvious answer will always be Natsu's power.
Mm-hmm.
But if we take out, let's say we take out Natsu's power, because that's usually the answer most people would pick.
Right.
I really like Wendy's powers, actually. I like how she can attack and heal. She can be attacking, she can be healing, she can be support, she can be anything. and you know her powers are pretty basic in the sense that she controls the wind, and it's pretty awesome. I don't know. I like it. It seems simple enough to the point where it's not. In like Juvia is made of water. You know what I mean?
Right.
Which is can seem like a pain, but Wendy doesn't have any problems like that. So I like her powers a lot. If I had to pick her, I would pick her powers.
Okay. So Wendy's powers. For me, I think I would probably pick the re-equip power. Like just have like multiple weapons and actually have like certain. It's just like Urza. Like if I wanted to have like a long spear or a short sword, it disappears out of nowhere and I can just slice and dice everyone. I think it's a nice power. I think Gildar's power is pretty great too. Like everything he touches, it freaking just destroys, disintegrates. So that's a great power to have too.
Yeah, it is.
Would you think Mystigon will make a comeback? One of the answers.
You can leave the comment above that one.
Yeah. Would you want to see Mystigon make a comeback of some sort? Or what about that dragon? I think he is the most powerful character. Not even Gildar's. Oh, that's good. That's a good point.
Yeah, that's true.
Dragon from the S-Class arc, the black one. Yeah.
Yep.
How do you think Fairy Tail episode HQ quality episodes? I'm not sure what you're asking, Melvin. What do you think about Fairy Tail? Are you trying to ask like, is it going to be in high quality episodes? I think it will be. Hopefully, it will be. If the previous season was in 1080p, then I'm pretty sure this one will be too. Okay. Well, we can talk about.
Wait, we gotta go. If you were to choose Furuchi Almushi with, who would you pick?
Oh, where do you see that from?
Right above the Mystigon one.
Really? I don't see that. Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, that's a good question. By Mushi 14.
Lucy, Juvia, Ursai, Levy, Evergreen, everyone.
That's a lot of girls, dude. Push you in the back. That's pretty much almost all the girls of Fairy Tail.
Yeah.
Yes, nice.
Oh gosh. Let me see. What if one episode they show Happy and Lucy kissing? What would you guys think? What the?
I love that comment. I just added it. I'm like bestiality.
I think.
No. Oh my god.
That's something I would pretty much die laughing of. I would probably be speechless for the rest of the day and be like, did that actually happen?
Can you imagine? That'd be crazy.
Oh, Happy and Carla. We totally forgot to like discuss about them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know, she ignores him. Poor Happy. I love Happy. Poor guy. You know? He's trying so hard.
Great character.
It's such a tsundere on him.
Yeah, has she shown any delay towards him? It's just all soon, right?
Yeah, pretty much a little bit did it when she helps him out with something, you know, gives him a little bit of encouragement, but that's about it. Otherwise, she's just like tough on him.
Dang, poor Happy, man. He's Happy. I understand how you feel, man. The hard to get the girl that you love, but let's see. The Pendragons versus Natsu. Who is gonna lose? I think that's already answered. The twin dragons are Sting and Rogue, right? If those are the twin dragons, then Natsu already beat them. So
by himself, without Gajeel.
By himself, without Gajeel. That's how much he's improved ever since the time skip. So that question's already answered for you.
That was crazy because you're like, all right, they had a good fight, right? Pretty even. Then the twin dragons like stepped up their power, and you're like, oh, whoa. And then Natsu's just like, all right, let's get serious, and defeats them like in a minute. You're just like, whoa.
Yeah, he wrecks them. Like those two get totally freaking wrecked by Natsu. Like it seems like Natsu wasn't even trying. Like it wasn't even his final form yet. He just wrecked them pretty hard. So I was pretty happy to watch that.
Like it's crazy because Natsu's like playing around. all right, we have 30 episodes, or 25 or something, building up to that fight, right? So you're
Right.
gonna be like, all right, Sting and Rogue are gonna kick ass. You know, they're gonna be incredible, and they are incredibly strong. But then Natsu's like, all right, let's take this serious. Boom, 1 minute, done.
It was a pretty fast fight, if I recall. He
Yeah.
destroyed them. Like everything that those two were talking about in the past, I don't know, 10 or 20 episodes were irrelevant. Like Natsu just shuts them up, and he's like, "You guys are nothing." The first generation of Dragon Slayers are still the best Dragon Slayers out there in the world. So, yep,
Yeah.
that's how who will win. Oh, here's another question: who's the weakest character in Fairy Tail?
Whoa, where do you see that one?
That's
I didn't
from
see it. Yeah.
I'm known to be. Yeah. He's under Malvin,
Oh, okay.
the painting guy, the new master.
The painting.
The painting guy.
Oh,
Really?
that's a pretty awesome answer.
Yeah, they are.
That's funny. I like that answer.
I think he has his perks though, but who is the weakest Fairy Tail character? I cannot think of one that comes to mind.
If I had to pick one, it would be Macao.
Oh,
Romy.
the master after Makarov? Yeah.
Yeah, the provisionary master. He's really like. All right, I'm sure there's obviously characters that are weaker than him, but not once do we see him actually be strong. Natsu saves him from being frozen. Then he
Right.
becomes guild master, and the guild is destroyed while he's guild master. So he would have my pick for weakest character.
All right. So Mako, my pick would probably be, I think it was Joy or Jet, one of those guys, or
Yeah.
those two guys are kind of funny. They're kind of pathetic to look at. I mean, they're kind of pathetic to look at, but they're fun. They're funny. But I think there was also this dancing guy who danced quite often. I don't even remember what his powers were, but it's just at the top of my mind. He comes to mind. And there's also Warren. I I would call him weak because his only power is like he talks to people through their mind, like telepathic feeling.
Yeah, he thinks he's the shit too. Like he's talking, he's like,
I'm gonna talk the shit out of you so you can go to sleep and I can win this battle.
oh my god.
That's his power. Who would you guys cosplay as in Fairy Tail? And there's also another question, but we kind of already answered it before. So, all right. So who would you cosplay as in Fairy Tail if you could? I think you mentioned Jalal, right?
Yeah, Mushi's favorite character is Urza. We have a convention in a week, and I want it to be Jalal. Obviously, I'm terrible at cosplaying, but I would never. I would still cosplay anyway, but I never got the outfit. But if I had to pick one, it would be Jalal and only Jalal. I wouldn't cosplay as anyone else in Fairy Tail except Jalal because I love him. The
Okay.
one and only husbando that I've ever had. Never had a husbando before until him.
That's interesting. A husband? Oh,
No.
I can't think of one. I think Mystigon's a great one to cosplay as. Which is pretty much Jalal or Prince Jalal. I actually want to put my hands in cosplaying Gray, but the thing about cosplaying Gray is that you have to have the body for it, kinda, and I don't have the body for it. And plus, you have to walk around naked, almost half naked, throughout the cosplay convention. So it's not really comfortable to cosplay as Gray. But if I had the body and I was confident enough, I'll probably pick Gray because I think it's cool.
That makes sense.
Who's the sexiest Fairy Tail girls in? Well, who's the sexiest girls in Fairy Tail? I think we already kind of touched on this, but who do you think's the sexiest? Let's just go for it anyways.
Sexiest without me actually liking them, let's say.
Not actually liking them. You don't have to like their personality.
Sexiest. I'm gonna look at pictures of them right now. I don't know if you want to answer. I can decide. Because, all right, I'll just say either Ursa or Lucy. I can't decide. I really
Okay.
can't decide.
Okay.
I feel like Lucy might be sexier in a body sense, and Ursa might be sexier in like she is so friggin' awesome. She is sexy sense, you know?
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. I would probably pick Urza because waifu, but
Yeah.
anyone besides like in Fairy Tail, I would probably choose that female who's in the Grand Magic games and she fought. She has a sword and she never unveiled her sword. I don't remember her name, but she looks pretty badass, and I think she would look pretty sexy if she was in a bikini. So that girl, whatever her name is, who was yeah.
Her name. Her name.
Search it up.
What's her name?
I think it starts with a K.
I'm trying to think. She's such. You know what I'll just call her? I'll just call her Satsuki.
Satsu?
Satsuki, like or Kiryuin,
Okay.
from Kill
Okay.
la Kill.
Okay, that works. That's a
The main bad girl from Kill la Kill. She just reminds me of her. I don't know why.
Did you finish Kill la Kill?
Nah, I haven't finished that. I'm like halfway
Not
through.
finished yet either. Holy! I heard it was. Well, I have 2 episodes left to watch. I'm not sure if you're really up there yet. Are you up there?
No, I'm like halfway through.
Oh, it gets really good halfway through. But yeah, that's who I choose is for a sexy girl. Oh, Kagura. Her name is Kagura.
Kagura. That's right. And
Thank
it's
you,
like it feels like such a generic samurai girl name.
A generic samurai girl kind of
I don't know why.
There's a few more questions. It's 9 o'clock. Do you want to keep answering them, or do you want to hold them?
Yeah, go for it. Let's answer them.
All right. If they make a new OVA with Fairy Tail, which anime? Oh, if they make like another crossover with Fairy Tail, which anime would you want it to crossover with? That's the question that this person's asking. Like, they made a crossover with Rave Master. I have not seen it yet, but I heard it's pretty good. So yeah. What anime?
Seru no Tsukaima. It's random, but it's sort of Fairy Tail always reminded me of Seru no Tsukaima because of the whole, a world with magic type of theme, and the characters don't have the same powers because Seru no Tsukaima is more like a Harry Potter type of magic, right?
Oh, yeah.
But still, it has this aura if you watch it to it, and I feel like the characters from Seru no Tsukaima would fit into Fairy Tail nicely. Like I feel like they would definitely work there. So yeah, I wouldn't mind that.
Okay. For me, I actually have no freaking idea. I don't know which anime would actually suit the crossover with Fairy Tail. So no comment. Sadly. Let's see. What would be your reaction? Oh, what would be the reaction of Natsu if Happy died?
Ooh, I would stop. I don't care about Natsu's reaction. I would just be too depressed to watch Fairy Tail. I'll be like, that's it.
That's it. Done with.
It's over.
You can kill everybody else except Happy because he needs
cannot kill Happy. The world can end, and Happy has to be the last survivor. I don't care what Happy is. Just his name, Happy. You can't kill Happy.
Right. I probably agree. I would feel really depressed if they killed off Happy because he is even though it doesn't seem like it, he's an essential character of the Fairy Tail family, and he needs to be alive. He keeps everything together, kind of, in his own way.
He has the best lines too, like the de Teru or whatever he says. Like she likes him lines. Oh my god, I love Happy.
I saw.
He's so cute. Yeah. Hi.
If you could cosplay as a girl, who would it be?
Oh, if you could cosplay as a girl, who would it be?
Yeah. That's a good question.
Juvia.
Juvia?
Yeah.
I would say Kana because she has bikini and it's like the simplest cosplay ever. Bikini top and a pair of pants. That's all.
I
uh,
love how Julia has her hair in that little. Sometimes she has her hair in those little curls at the end.
uh,
Oh,
oh yeah, the rose. Do
Julia,
you
so
actually
awesome.
prefer her with the rose or her hair down?
With hair, I prefer much better with the hair down,
Uh,
but for cosplaying with the rolls would be pretty awesome.
I agree. I think if you're gonna cosplay Julia, you should cosplay her with the hair roll thing. It looks a lot
Yeah.
better, kind of. Mm. But they're gonna keep her hair long in the new season. She was in the trailer, so I think her hair was
Yeah.
long.
Like in the Grand Magic games, it was just straight.
Yeah, natural, straight. Uh,
Yep. Yep.
I what did you guys think of the fairy tale trailer and its return?
Good question. Um, what did I think? I thought it was kick-ass. Like I said, I watched it like 10 times, 20 times because I'm just trying to dissect it little by little, and I get really hyped for new things. So I'm really excited. As I mentioned before, the art style looks to be, I'm not going to say much improved because I always liked the art style,
Right?
but it looks to be more modern. Um, the thing that got me the most excited is I was scared if this is going to be a reboot or a sequel. But after watching the trailer, I think it's almost 95% clear that it's going to be a sequel just because of the characters that they're showing, which are characters that were in the Grand Magic games, as well, especially characters from the other guild, the main Sabretooth. They're
Right.
showing Sabretooth characters. They wouldn't show Sabretooth characters if this was a reboot. And they're showing dragons, and the way Lucy's dressed is pretty much the same way she was dressed in the Grand Magic game. So that I was scared about, but I'm happy now. It looks to be a sequel.
Yeah, I think the new trailer is definitely a indication or a nod to a new season. It's not a reboot. I'm pretty positive it's not a reboot because it makes no sense. Like I mentioned earlier, it makes no sense for them to reboot Fairy Tale if they were left off at a
Yeah,
cliffhanger, like a real big cliffhanger too. So
it left
plus
off
what
on a
people
random
say.
episode, to be honest.
Say what?
It left off on a random episode.
Yeah, they left off at 175 in the middle of the Grand Magic game. So it makes
Yeah.
no sense to reboot the anime series at all. But yeah, that's what we think. We think it's going to be a sequel to the first season.
hmm
Yeah. What if Happy killed Natsu?
Some morbid questions today.
It's pretty interesting. These questions are pretty interesting. Yeah.
If Happy killed Natsu, I wouldn't care as much as if Natsu killed Happy. I would still care, but I wouldn't care as much because Happy is
Happy's happy.
Happy's happy. You can't get rid of Happy, never.
All right. Well, it is 9:11, and I'm pretty much going to end the live discussion in a bit because we have obligations to fulfill the next day.
Yeah.
I want to thank everyone for coming to watch this live discussion with myself and MP14Anime. There was another person who was supposed to join us, but she was sick, so she could not join us. So I feel sorry for her, but hopefully she will join us in the future. Today's topic was all about Fairy Tail. I hope you guys look forward to the new season that is coming up next week. Coming out next week, yeah. Gather a whole bunch of friends together, put on a big screen TV, get some popcorn, watch it with a whole bunch of your friends, laugh, cry, and celebrate the return of Fairy Tail. In the future, I hope myself and MP14 will be doing more discussions such as this in the future. So look out for that. And yeah, if you have anything to say, MP14, I'll let you say it.
So thank you, everyone. Just like t-dyno said, thank you for joining us. I love talking about Fairy Tail. We love talking about Fairy Tail. And one more week, it's gonna be awesome. And we're probably gonna try to make a discussion video. So would it be episode reviews, or would it just be like discussing each episode? Because I would love to do that. I love Fairy Tail too much to not do it. So if you're down with that,
I'm
and
down
people
for whatever.
then we're gonna do that. So yeah, Fairy Tail's awesome, and thank you everyone for watching. We really appreciate it.
Yep. Thanks for watching, everyone. Make sure to check out our channels, like, comment, and subscribe to both of our channels. So thank you again for watching, everyone, and have a good night. Sayonara. Min.
Bye.